you've been pretty complimentary of the Prime Minister's actions over the last week or two, it feels like. And I think we're maybe more used to a combative relationship or more combative relationship between Saskatchewan and the federal Liberal government. Maybe this is more of a personal question, Premier, but why the change in tone in terms of how you're speaking of the federal government lately?
Well, in this case, he got us back to the trade relationship that we had 1, 2, 3 years ago. The previous fellow wouldn't have done that. I can say that with, quite a bit of confidence. He just wouldn't have placed the priority, been able to, manage through the necessary negotiations that happened. And credit to Cody Blois, as he was a continuous face throughout that when we first visited in last September to try to breathe some ambition into into these negotiations. And so I'm political for sure, but I do try to call them as I see them. And from an economic perspective, and raising our credibility in that international sphere, there's a lot more priority under this fellow as opposed to the previous fellow. I joke, I call him he who should not be named, but it's not about friendships and we're good on everything. There's some policies that we have some very distinct differences with the federal government as well. However, when we require market access and we require a federal government to be able to make those nation to nation agreements like we saw, I need a prime minister and I only have one to work with. And if he's trying to get to the same place I am, and he's able to get there, I have no problem, pointing out that he made the effort.